All right, let me just open up my computer here and then we'll get started. All right, so we are here to address the matter of Mary Eng. Ms. Eng is here, and Sunny Seaside LLC. And tell me your name, sir.
Muhammad Akbar.
Okay. And how do you spell your last name?
Akbar.
Okay. Thank you. All right, well, we're here for trial. Ms. Eng filed a complaint, and Mr. Akbar filed a denial and a counterclaim. And so hopefully we'll get through this today. We only have an hour allotted for this trial, so we'll do our best to get through the issues. But the process will be, first we'll start with Ms. Eng, and I'll receive her testimony and evidence regarding why she filed the claim against Sunny Seaside LLC. And then I'll receive any evidence or any witnesses Ms. Eng wishes to present. And then Mr. Akbar, I'll give you a chance to respond with your testimony and evidence. And then Ms. Eng has the burden of proof here, so I'll give her a chance to follow up, and I'll actually give you both an opportunity to argue the case or to support the claim or counterclaim as we go through. So does anyone have any questions about the process? No questions? Can I have you both raise your right hands, please? Regarding any testimony or evidence you present today, do you swear or affirm that you'll tell the truth?
I do.
Yes. All right, thank you. And so, Ms. Eng, let's start with you. I'll have you state your name for our record, please, and spell your last name.
Hi, my name is Mary, last name Eng, E-N-G.
All right, thank you. And so just looking at the claim, I'll start you off here. You filed a claim against Sunny Seaside LLC for the sum of $1,700 plus your costs. And you've indicated that, I guess the details include some of the problems you had as a renter, and efforts were made to try to reduce those problems with the rental. And I understand that there is a related case, and it may have been a eviction related to these same premises. I'm not sure. So let us begin, Ms. Eng, with your statement of why you brought the claim.
Okay. Your Honor, Judge Matthias, I would like to address just simply technical matters. If we have time today, I would like to call George Karge, my co-resident, as a witness. I'd also like to ask your advice if he was asleep when I filed the claim, and I felt that it would be easier in a way to separate our parties versus merge them. But if at some point you feel that if we reach some kind of settlement, we need to merge our parties because we were the co-tenants on this lease towards like a final signature that no money is owed to either side and both parties are merged into an agreement of a dismissal, that is something that I'm open to, and I think Mr. Karge would be open to as well. So,
well, I would note that both of the related landlord-tenant cases have been dismissed, so there's really no relation other than any money judgments that may be existing or any sort of agreement. I did not research the other cases, but they appear to both be dismissed. And so we're here on the claims. I'm not able to advise you or offer settlement at this point unless both of you are interested in settling the case. And if so, we can...
all that was offered at mediation was a $25 settlement. and I thought it would be more worthwhile to pursue this trial.
And so I'm not, I don't want to hear about mediation. I mean, I want that to be maintained as sort of a confidential event. I'm interested in, let's proceed on the merits then and just see where things end up.
Okay, so Your Honor, if I may, my name is Mary Eng. With co-tenant George Karge, I had inquired about a potential residence mid-January. We had dropped the matter.
Of what year?
This
2019?
year, 2019. We had found an ad placed on Craigslist. We had dropped it. It was advised to us by CCA, Clatsop Community Action, that it appeared that it might be a fraudulent scam. There was an induction to wire money. The premises seemed dubious. George was adamant against it. I persuaded him because...
You personally what?
I persuaded George Karge to accede to this process of getting this rental due to the square footage being greater than what we experienced. And there were numerous concerns, the first of which was the refusal to accept a veteran's deposit grant, which would have been administered through the VASH coordinator at CCA. That seemed to me a red flag that this landlord knew there were some problems with the unit that were worth hiding from the authorities. Later, I found out that the VASH coordinator, Bernice, was very aware of the problems at this building. Next,
is this the premises? Let me just butt in. 430 South Holiday, Apartment 6?
Yeah, and for a visualization, we were offered the second story of a building that has been subsectioned into 5 properties with an attic apartment. We were offered one of those units. I was forewarned by existing tenants that my unit had a leak in the bathroom down below. But due to Mr. Akbar's intelligence and great personality, I thought, well, this is fabulous. We have a really great, enthusiastic landlord who's going to get on it, and any problems that are there with the building will be quickly fixed. So I came into the lease with a great deal of optimism. I was, however, alarmed at illegal provisions of the lease, which try to sort of lock it in like a tech TOA, terms of agreement, like an ever-renewing lease. There were little red flags in the lease. And I persuaded and cajoled George Karge to sign this lease, even though it was illegal for us to have to wire money to Mr. Akbar prior to having any signed lease. His intermediary was a short-term manager figurehead with very little power to influence operations. In the span of my 4 months of tenancy, which were February, March, April, and then May, and then straggling into June somewhat, there were many managers, including when Leslie Vipon, the first manager, quit after I had reported the electrical irregularities to the fire department on March 23rd, excuse me. She quit about 2 weeks after that. I was asked to substitute as a temporary manager, which I felt that I didn't really have a choice, that it was a very coercive, high-pressure sale, much as this high-pressure inducement to rent this. A lot of phone calls, text messages at midnight, inappropriate, like email slams, you've got to rent this apartment, got to rent this. And when Leslie quit, I was given a Google Drive phone. Sadly, because of the regular electricity outages, I put these as exhibits if you'd like to see them. They are 2 dead phones. They're roughly worth about $180 to replace. All of my data was destroyed, which affected other court activities I was engaged in. And I was beset with the stress of managing this property, answering the phone, checking the mailbox, checking locks, keys, making sure garbage got out. Nothing was done on a basic housekeeping level. When it comes to the laundry room was so filthy, I used my own vacuum to clean it out. The hallway was so filthy, I used my own vacuum to clean it out. There were very basic housekeeping things, which are minor. As soon as I got named the temporary manager after getting the fire department, Fire Marshal Dugan to come and look at it, he jump-started the process of calling Tim Samples up in Astoria.
Okay.